This meeting may come to order. This is the Round Table Youth Sports Talk. We are here to talk about New York youth football. Is it watered down? Is it too many leagues, too many organizations, too many coaches with one team? Here to talk about it, Tyrone Franklin, Vice President and Commissioner of the Big Apple Youth Football League. Garvin Dublin, Commissioner, New York City Youth Football League, also President of the Brooklyn Skyhawks. Jus Hal, one of the architects of unlimited football in New York City, one of the founders of Empire Youth Football League, and he's also the president of the Brooklyn Chief. Bill Solomon, one of the architects of Big Apple Youth Football League, formerly president of Empire Youth Football League, and currently president of the Brooklyn Titans. Anthony Maxwell is here, president of the New York Players Flag Football League. Welcome, guys. Is weighted football at its end? What do you think?
Well, to be honest, I'm not sure if it's at its end because I've had I think it was a league from Massachusetts got in contact with me because they wanted to bring an all-star team from their area to come play us, or we go play them. But I told them, I said, I have the facility, you can come play me. And they brought their team down. And one of the things was the first thing he said is, do you guys have a weight limit? I said, yes, this is the weight limit. And I gave him the weight limit, and he said, oh, it's only a couple of pounds difference between the two leagues. This could work. So, in that case, it works. It worked. And but I think as it went forward, as we were starting to think about it, and the evolution of what's going to happen, I seen that we needed to start to use some unlimited weight for some of our divisions, which this year we started with the 15 to 17-year-olds first. Then now we are with the 13 and 14-year-olds. So now we're with the 13 and 14-year-olds, they're unlimited. So we kept the limited weight with the younger groups. We just increased the weight a little bit, mainly because of what the politicians were trying to do to football. They were trying to rob us. So we said we need to kind of keep some kind of safe haven where we could argue back with them and say, what are you talking about? We don't care about safety. We care about safety. Here we have limited weight with the age groups that they want to cut out, which is age 12 on down. They didn't want any kind of tackle football, and these are coming from people that didn't even play football, so they have no idea. They're not interested in it. They're just interested in what it's going to do for them to take them up the ladder, and they would destroy a whole society, I should say, because it's a football society. They would destroy a whole football society so that they can climb up that gate.
Like the reason why I choose this topic is that the recent change of Big Apple to unlimited, and two, what happened this year with Long Island, that they got rid of town football, which was weighted. And which was weighted, and they kind of got rid of it, so to speak, and it created a couple of teams out of Long Island coming over to New York City. So the question is it, like, according to you still think it's still
I mean, it's for us right now, and I wouldn't say for everyone, but for us in New York City youth football, it works for us from age 12 down. I will not say that with us over the next few years, us reviewing it and going over it, going through some numbers, seeing some other things, other attractions, other leagues through the United States, because we don't necessarily just do everything based on New York, but through the United States. would it be best for us to go unlimited? And also, we started to look at the rosters. So I look at rosters. You got a roster of 30 kids.
Okay.
Just to be unlimited, but I only got 4 kids that would have been close to the limited weight limit. So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's wrong or that it's not good for unlimited. I'm just saying right now for us, as I examine rosters, because I look at rosters all the time. Rosters come in, and I do all the certifications. So I'm looking to see, what size kids are coming in here. Do I have a team that has 10, 12? Like 1 year, Kings Bay is one of the teams, and in 13 and 14 year old division, they had about 9, 10, maybe 12 kids. That if it was unlimited, it would have been good for them. But these kids were overweight. So in that, but that's only one team. That was only one team.
Let me just say one thing though, Garvin. I think some of the reason why you don't see as many kids that are close to the weight limit is because you don't do unlimited weight.
Yes, right.
I can tell you that if I look at a Big Apple roster, every lineman, I played an 11U team. The 11U, we played the Jamaica Bulldogs today. Their line averaged 210, across the front line. They had guys that looked like running backs at running back. Their linemen looked like linemen. They're big kids. And I think one of the things that I've discovered in doing this for a while is that when you all big New York City, one of the things I think was good about New York City football is that you guys never did the older lighter thing. It was just straight age weight, not older lighter. I can tell you, and I think that Tyrone and probably Jus can tell you as well, that with older lighter, I could absolutely look at a roster and this team had 10 older lighters, this team had 3 older lighters. 9 times out of 10, the one with 10 older lighters is going to win. Because age is by far more determining factor than weight. Because you get a small, quick kid, he can get around. But, 10-year-olds move like 10-year-olds. 12-year-olds move like 12-year-olds. I would take a small 12-year-old over a big 10-year-old every day of the week. Every day of the week. I think right now what's happening is that unlimited weight football is flipping. It used to be unlimited was the exception. Now I think it's basically almost flipped where weighted football is kind of the exception. As we recognize that big kid who, we all have him, right? That kid, Jonathan Hayes, he ended up playing poly, went to Notre Dame, is on Pittsburgh's roster, I think now. At 12, he was 6'2", 225. He was not overweight.
But that's the exception, though.
Excuse me?
That's an exception to the rule. That's the exception, that kid right there. You don't have multiple of those.
My 14-year-old line averages 240. My 14, and they're mostly 13s. They're kids who are going to be high school linemen who are playing on my line. They're going to play and be successful high school. That's not really the exception. I think pretty much you look down the line and I played a team the other day. I was a 7th grader. The kid was 6'2", 6'3", huge. He's exceptional.
Right.
But I think there are a lot of those kids out there that had in the past been forced to either try to sweat down.
Exactly.
I think we've been through that. Kids dressed in the plastic bags, running around and trying to cut weight. They either had to try to sweat down, or you move them up. And again, I don't want to see a big 10-year-old playing against my 12-year-olds because they're gonna get their lunch eaten most of the time.
Yeah. So
Before you said, guys, I don't mind the back and forth, right? Perfect. We have a time limit.
Yeah.
So let's keep it like relevant. I know y'all want to get your point in, and I want it. Believe me, I want it. But the tape run out, I can't do anything. All right. So
what happened with Big Apple? For me personally, I always wanted to stay weighted football. I wanted to stay weighted because nationally, Big Apple, New York was dominant weighted football. But what happened was I seen the transition around the nation that Jus tried to tell us years ago that him and Bill, when they went to Empire, and I seen that they were flourishing, and Big Apple, when I came back to Big Apple, it was dying, that I knew that I had to make a decision and go unlimited weight football so that we could take every kid. And that's what it was all about. It was all about taking every kid instead of, like Bill said, a kid that's 10 years old who's heavy playing on the 12-year-old. No, now we could take every kid and I could follow that blueprint, and what it did is just blew us back up to what we was. We did, as long as we offer quality and the kids are all being helped safely, it just blew us back up. And I always commend Jus for having that vision way back when he was talking to Rocky and them guys from Connecticut. He's always had the vision of unlimited football. So that was, so that's why.
All right, Jus, what's your take on it, Jus?
Well, I think everybody should do unlimited, but people got to do what's right for them. I mean, you know what I'm saying, for their league. The number one thing I think we should do as presidents and commissioners and everything, because like, listen, we all basically all come from the same league.
You wouldn't know that at all. Played outstanding.
Huh?
I don't know where that come from.
That's.
What was that?
Go ahead. We can hear you. Can you hear us? Yeah.
Yeah. What I was basically saying was like as presidents and dudes that run the league, it's really no communication no more with nobody. And I think we should have those like channels open, whether it's Warner Conference or Pioneer, Big Apple, UTL, whatever it is, whatever, Joe Schmo. I think the channel should be more open, and as far as like the communication part, because I think things can happen better. Like I'm on the zone, y'all. If like I just think things that happen better if everybody works together, because you got some leagues, like I said, that aren't ready for certain competition. And then you got some leagues that are. And you just want to make sure everything is put in the right perspective, and we doing the best thing for the kids. But I like unlimited now. I always did. When it was brought to me, I said, yo, I'm telling you, this is the way to go.
Absolutely.
The kids, because you got to remember, all the overweight kids couldn't play. Kid he never played football until he got to high school. And that's unfair. So basically, we kind of shut all of them out. Whether you want to believe it or not, we shut all of them out for over 30, 40 years. Because they couldn't play. He was just overweight all the time. So, I mean, like you brothers, Milk, you probably was a big boy your whole life, right?
No, this is evolution. After I got married, this is evolution, brother. I can show you, brother. I can show you a picture. I know people that didn't see me in 30 years walk past me and turn around. Milk, yeah. That's what happens, man. It's marriage life.
Now I'm gonna be saying like
yeah, but I understand.
Coach Harry's son, Coach Harry's son.
Yeah.
Coach Harry's son couldn't play for like 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
And he was just a baby. I remember he couldn't play tiny mice and none of that. And he was just a baby. And now look at him, he's a goon, I just feel when you do unlimited, you get all the kids ready.
That's right.
You get the smaller kids.
You get all the kids.
Not being scared to tackle bigger kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then you get the bigger kids not being timid to hit the smaller kids.
Yeah.
It's just better for football.
Okay. But Anthony, Coach Anthony.
I mean, you guys pretty much hit it.
Okay.
I agree.
This is your opinion. That's
Yeah, my opinion also is sometimes when you have a 10-year-old on a 12-year-old roster, because he's heavier, he's now exposed socially to things that he shouldn't be. What a 12-year-old's talking about and a 10-year-old's talking about are totally different things. So now he's getting 12-year-old locker room talk, 12-year-old interactions, and the only reasons he's on that roster is because he's a little heavier, you know.
So Danny,
Also, there's
just
your phone.
Just be recording, just. Okay.
also you stigmatize. So now let's say I'm 10 years old, and you go, Mom, I want to play football. Okay, cool. Hey, who's with you? I got my cousin Ron and my neighbor Bill. Well, Bill can play, Ron can't. Why can't Ron play? Well, Ron is 132 pounds. Oh, so where does Ron go? Well, I'm sorry, Ron, you know, he has to go up to that team. You know, so it's more, because you don't want, yes, you want them eating healthy, but sometimes a kid is big, and he might slim out later in life, but right now, you don't want to teach him we worry about women being bulimic and sticking their finger down their throat and stuff like that, but you don't want it for a kid to feel like, you know what, I'm not slim. What do I need to do to be in? You know what I mean? Whatever that takes.
With this meeting, I'm going to chime in on this and we'll keep it moving. This meeting, or this conference room meeting is designed for a league. We're going to do, this is one of 3 parts. So we're going to do one for the league, then we're going to bring the organizations in, and then we're going to do something with the coaches.